Fiancé visas are being treated like immigrant visas for the proclamation. So if you are filing for a fiancé in one of the 39 banned countries, they're being treated like spouses of U.S. citizens. Banned for right now, unfortunately.
If you have someone in America, call them now. If you are in America, you must not leave America. It's very dangerous to leave America right now, okay? Yes, the information there is this. If you leave America, your coming back is not guaranteed, okay? It is not about whether you have the documents or not, okay?
So recently, as at mid-December 2025, the United States announced a new set of travel and visa restrictions that include Nigerian nationals. This measure will take effect on January 1st, 2026 and form a part of a broader US policy shift on immigration and national security. So this policy doesn't come from the Congress. It is a presidential proclamation signed by US President Donald Trump, expanding a travel ban framework that was already in place early in 2025. So what exactly was announced? Nigeria is included among several countries facing what is officially called a partial travel restriction. In practical terms, entry to the US will be suspended for Nigerians applying for most common visas, including B1 visa, which is business visa, B2, tourist visas, F, student visas, M, vocational training visas, J, exchange visitors visas, and immigrant visas as well under part of this announcement. These categories represent the bulk of routine travel. All that is suspended. So the question next is, who is actually affected in detail and who is not affected? Of course, like mentioned, affected are Nigerian citizens outside the US who apply for new visas in those categories after the ban takes place. So most students planning to begin studies in the US under the F or M visas will be denied. So not affected, and this is a part we will love to pay attention. Nigerians already in the United States with valid visas will not have this automatically cancelled because of this ban. Listen to this part. Some special categories such as diplomats, certain official delegations, and people with national interest waivers may be exempt. Just to emphasize that people with valid visas before January 1st, 2026 won't have them automatically revoked, but they might face extra scrutiny when traveling. So, back to the diplomats. The Nigerian government is not affected by this visa restriction in any meaningful way, although they say it's subject to the consular's discretion. But let's assume everything being equal. Senior officials, diplomats, and people with diplomatic passports are largely exempt. And here's the part many people will not want to say out loud. Most children of politicians do not travel on ordinary Nigerian passports. They travel on diplomatic or official passport or through special waivers and privileges. So, while the ordinary Nigerian is told you cannot travel, you cannot study, you can't do businesses, you can't even attend conferences, politicians and their children are not affected by these restrictions. The next question is, why did the US do this? I know one narrative that dominates the internet space, but the US has set several reasons for this policy change. Number one is national security concerns. So the White House statement frames this policy as protecting the United States from nationals who may pose security or public safety threats. Number two is screening and vetting issues. According to the US government's fact sheet, Nigeria and other countries are cited for challenges in sharing reliable background information and documentation with United States authorities. And the third one is visa overstay rates and documentation concerns. So all these factors are mentioned as part of the criteria the US uses to assess risk. The US government frames this decision as about scrutiny, visa system integrity, and better information sharing. This is a developing story, yes. The situation is still unfolding because the policy is set to start January 1st, 2026, so more details and administrative guidance are expected between now and then. And don't forget, this was a presidential proclamation, meaning that the US courts and legal challenges often rise to respond to travel bans. So legal development could change enforcement. And the third one could be that diplomatic engagement between the US and Nigerian government. This can also lead to reversal, hoping they have good understanding. So in practice, this means travel bans for academic programs, business engagement with the US may be delayed or denied for many Nigerian citizens unless exemptions apply. So, in short, the US has expanded its travel ban framework to include partial restrictions on Nigerian nationals effective January 1st, 2026. And the US immigration rules doesn't change by emotions, they change by data. Nigeria needs reliable identity systems. They need to prove who is who is safe, who can be trusted. Without data, countries punish everyone. And that is why Nigerians must arise and demand better systems, because at the end of the day, restrictions like this only affect ordinary Nigerians, as diplomats are always exempted. It is a truth at a time. Take care and have a nice day.
If you have followed us to this stage, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to this channel and tell us what you think about this traveling restriction. I pray they stopped it on time, because as it is now, that is not affecting me does not mean there are people the thing is not affecting. There are a lot of people the thing will affect. As this Xmas is now, there are people that their traveling documents, their visa, everything is ready. They want to travel out. Now look at what is happening. They can't travel again. And there are some men over there that have been planning, or that have already planned on how to come and pick their wife here in Africa. Just look at. I pray it ends soon.